Good evening. It's an honour to address you tonight as Chair of the FSHD Global Research Foundation. In 2005, my father, Bill Moss, made the difficult decision to retire from an executive role at Macquarie Bank as his body was starting to fail him. My father has an exceptional mind, strategic vision, and an unwavering belief that you truly can be a catalyst for change if you put your mind to it. With limited global research in FSHD, he felt a deep responsibility to create a foundation to spearhead treatments and to find a cure. I was by his side when he launched the FSHD Global Research Foundation in 2007 and have never left. We share a special father and daughter bond and a deep passion to improve the quality of life for people suffering with muscle-related diseases. My father didn't just start a foundation, he led a global movement. FSHD Global doesn't just execute strategy, we lead. We inspire and we create. We pioneer and we achieve. Our focus is FSHD, but our scope is much wider, including research into muscle wellness, repair, and technology that would improve muscle function for everyone. You cannot live without muscles, and when they're not functioning properly, you live a substandard life. I've learnt every medical challenge requires complex solutions. Within the past 15 years, this foundation has invested over $20 million. While I'm proud our investments have been a catalyst for launching global clinical trials, it is devastating to realise Australians living with FSHD cannot participate in these trials because of Australia's poor diagnostic system. When I'm presented with a challenge, I've learnt to pick it up, look at the problem from every single angle until I see a different strategy to overcome the problem at hand. I'll discuss these ideas with smarter, wiser, and more experienced advisors seeking their views until a unified vision answers the problem. The problem is, to take part in clinical trials, we need to improve Australia's diagnostic equipment and create a patient data registry to actively capture the data. For many years, diagnosing FSHD in Australia meant a neurologist sent your blood through a southern blot machine to confirm a diagnosis. This outdated equipment from the 1960s costs a patient $2,000 and takes up to 2 years to receive your results. This is a long time to be questioning your future. During the pandemic, I spent a lot of time with my family. My husband and our 2 children moved to the countryside with my father and his wife, Lata. I will cherish these memories, watching my father play with his grandchildren, teaching them about the world. I recall one of our family breakfast conversations was a discussion about the bull versus bear markets, to which my 4-year-old daughter said, "Grandad, I think you're wrong. It's a cow market today." For many months, I would sit by the fireplace with my father and discuss our views on the world and the future of this foundation. I could see my father's fire and determination to seek a cure for FSHD within his lifetime start to burn out. Not from his lack of determination, rather from the exhaustion and pain taking its toll on his weakening body. Watching the effects of this slow death disease has taught me, in life, you adapt or you die. I chose to adapt and fight FSHD on behalf of my father and the millions of people living with this cruel disease across the world. With the board's encouragement, I accepted the role of chair and am building a strategy to solve the FSHD diagnostic puzzle of Australia. I've noticed after every global crisis, technology takes off and booms. Inspired by the PCR testing during COVID, I felt somewhat jealous that someone could receive a diagnostic result from spitting in a tube within 48 hours. I've always taken an interest in the genetic complexities behind this disease and found myself over the years building dear friendships with eminent global scientists and researchers. The normality of weekly saliva testing prompted my memory that in 2014 I met Professor Jones and his wife at a muscle conference in Boston, where he screened my DNA methylation in relation to FSHD as part of their academic research project. Instantly, I reached out to Professor Jones, and within a few months, the Foundation built the FSHD Medical Portal, offering complimentary saliva test kits sent to a person's home, providing a fast and effective private screening tool to potential FSHD patients and families around the world. This was the first piece of the FSHD diagnostic puzzle. I'm pleased to say Professor Jones is here with us tonight, having flown from America, to explain the importance of this innovative technique to help capture and identify Australian patient data. Thomas Jefferson said, "Where a new innovation promises to be useful, it ought to be tried." Despite the accuracy of this test, it is currently not accepted as a golden standard of diagnostics. The only formal tool of diagnosing FSHD in Australia was the archaic Southern blot machine. Which leads me to the second piece of the FSHD diagnostic puzzle. For Australia to move out of the dark ages, we needed the world's best technologies. After consulting with experts globally, it became clear the rest of the world was already using bio-nano optical genome mapping. This machine would immediately pivot Australia's diagnostic pathways towards clinical trial readiness. The machine cost $500,000. Within 4 months of leaning on our corporate community, we bought the machine and placed it at the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research in Perth. This is a phenomenal achievement. Implementing this machine is a step forwards towards Australia meeting existing diagnostic standards. But implementing these technologies was only half the puzzle. Next, we needed to capture the patient data. Our patient community shared their results to our new portal. I was amazed how quickly this data bank grew. The question became, what other technologies for biomarkers can expand this data to attract clinical trials? To have fully characterised FSHD patient data, we expanded our portal, asking patients to offer a skin biopsy, allowing us to create a FSHD human tissue cell bank. This Australian-first initiative will provide the opportunity to personalise muscle regenerative cell medicine and gene editing therapies. There is a great saying, software ate the world, and now AI is eating software. With your help tonight, we hope to extend our portal to include AI technology that can scan a patient's MRI. This heat map of a full body image identifies areas of muscle inflammation and toxic muscle death, imperative data for clinical trials. With our clear strategy, the challenge remains to fund each piece. This will cost millions of dollars to execute. This is a white paper for Australia's government, medical institutions and industry, with the aim to unite all stakeholders to build infrastructure for clinical trial readiness in Australia. Last year, Dr. Fiona Martin and Dr. Michael Freelander MP co-founded the Parliamentary Friends of FSHD at Parliament House, enabling me to meet with the former Prime Minister to discuss this white paper. With no government support or medical patient advocacy body in Australia, the Foundation felt it was necessary to expand our charter to fill this gap. Our foundation is built from volunteers. We have an exceptional board of directors who I deeply thank tonight and would like to acknowledge as Glenn Willis, Malcolm Bevel, David Mackay, Nigel Virgo, Barry Robinson, Ross Nicholas, Natalie Pigeon, Scott Baker, Emma Weatherly, Danny Chronopoulos, Dr. Fiona Martin, Bill Moss, and Bashara Shamir, who has been instrumental in adding a new dimension to tonight's event. I'd like to thank our Scientific Advisory Board who volunteer their expertise and our corporate partners who offer a range of in-kind services, many of whom are here tonight. On this journey, I've met some incredible philanthropists who have become dear friends of this foundation. Isa and Katie Basher, Frank Pace, Kerry Johnston, and Bob Akmawini. Thank you for your ongoing support. FSHD's engine room consists of only 2.5 staff. Our newly appointed operational manager, Alison Hearn, Emma Weatherly, and our outgoing CEO, Danielle Thompson. Danielle, who after 13 years of service is stepping aside to start her own events company, The Social Factory. Lucky for us, Danielle will continue to run the Foundation's events. This foundation was built by and for people who live with FSHD. Bill carries FSHD in his body. I carry FSHD in my heart. So it made sense to find a natural-born leader who shares a lifelong commitment to this cause. I'm thrilled to announce Emma Weatherly as the new Managing Director of the Foundation. I am proud to chair this foundation into the future for our next chapter of clinical trial readiness and invite you to join us on this life-changing journey. Enjoy your evening, good night, and thank you.